Hi, Miss Benson's class. It's Miss Hawkins. It's so good to see you guys, and I hope you guys are doing great at home. We sure miss you next door, and we are ready to have you back at school. But until then, we're going to go ahead and make sure you are not missing a single thing while you're at home. So I'm going to go ahead and teach you today's reading lesson. You're going to get to see me for reading on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So we want to make sure that we are still learning all of the important things while you're still at home. All right, you guys. So we've been talking a lot in our reading lately about reading fluency, how we can become better readers, and knowing what we're reading in our stories is the first step. So one of the things we're going to talk about today and what I want you to take away from our lesson is when an author is describing something to you in your story, why are they doing that? And oftentimes an author is describing and comparing one thing to another. So today we're going to dive deep into what am I talking about and where can I find this in my stories. So when we're going to be talking about when two things are compared, think about how they're alike. And this will make a little bit more sense once I give you a little example. So authors are trying to make our books a little bit more exciting, adding this creative language to our stories. You guys are reading some more difficult books these days, and so you guys are ready. This stuff is found inside of your stories. So what we're going to do is I'm going to read you a sentence, and then we're going to talk a little bit about why did the author do that? Did they do it to just confuse us, or did they make it more entertaining? But why would they have put that in our book? So in the story, Come On Rain, it is about a little girl, and it is really hot outside, and all they want is rain to give them some relief. And so in the story, there's a sentence that says that the girl was sizzling like a hot potato. All right. Now, if I were to think about that sentence, that seems really silly. Like a potato? Really? But there is something behind this sentence. So we're going to dive into it and kind of talk about why in the world the author would have used that as something important in Come On Rain. So for instance, they're comparing a potato to a really hot summer day. So why do you think that the author would have chosen those two things to compare? I mean, a potato and a hot day are very different because a potato you can eat. You certainly can't eat a hot day, so that seems odd. But there are a couple of similarities after I start thinking about it, okay? And as I start thinking about it, I'm thinking, okay, we have to cook a potato to be able to eat it. And so in that, we have to put in, a lot of times when we bake potatoes, we put them in a broiler or a really hot oven to make it cook all the way through. Okay, so that's making a little bit more sense because now I'm seeing that the author is wanting to compare the hot sizzling potato to the really hot day that the girl is experiencing, okay? So oftentimes in our stories when we're reading, we see the author comparing things and using comparative language. Like it is as hot as a hot potato. Or here's one that we hear a lot. It is raining like cats and dogs. Well, it's not really raining like cats and dogs. It might be raining, but it's raining really heavy. But so they're using two different things to compare that are very different, but sometimes they have some sort of similarities. So what I want you guys to do as you go off and read on your own today is I want you to stop and think about what you're reading. So when you're reading those books, I want you really to focus on, am I reading any comparative languages? And what does that author really want me to take away from this? Why would that author have taken the time to put that sentence in the book? Okay, are they trying to make the story a little bit more exciting? Make me stop and think? That's a strange sentence. Why would I put that in there? So as you go off today, I want you really to focus on that key ingredient and why, or if you see any comparative language at all. All right. It was great to see you, Miss Benson's class, and I will see you tomorrow for our reading follow-up lesson. Bye, guys.